Let me tell you my story, and I'm sure you'll be shocked. I have a surprise for you at the end of the video, and I can't wait to share it. Let's get started. My name is Emily, and my desires know no bounds. I want to try everything you can imagine. I'm 35 years old and part of a typical American family. I've been married to my husband Daniel for 10 years. Daniel seemed like a reliable husband and a loving father, but what I went through last year took me to my core and made me question my entire life. What I'm about to tell you is how it all started and how it completely turned my life upside down. That day started like any other. Over breakfast, Daniel told me that a friend of his from Africa, someone he hadn't seen in a long time, would be staying with us for a few weeks. His name was Kevin. Daniel explained that he and Kevin had been close friends since college and that they had always played an important role in each other's lives. At first I was okay with the idea, but things started to get strange once Kevin moved in. Kevin was charming and confident from the moment he stepped into our home. He carried this powerful energy, his way of interacting with people, his charisma, and even how much attention he paid to small details surprised me. At first I was glad Daniel had such a cheerful and lively friend, but over time the energy in the house started to feel mixed with something unsettling. A few days after Kevin arrived, Daniel announced that he was going on a business trip. This wasn't unusual for him, so I didn't think much of it, but once Daniel left, Kevin's behavior started to change. He kept complimenting me, telling me how mesmerizing my eyes were or how genuine my smile seemed. At first I didn't pay much attention to these compliments, but after a while I started to feel there was something more behind them. One night Kevin was sitting in the kitchen talking about Daniel's younger years while pouring me a glass of wine. His tone became more personal as the conversation went on. What he said both surprised and unsettled me. The things Kevin shared about Daniel revealed how different he had been during his college years. On the one hand, I laughed at these stories, but on the other, I couldn't shake this uneasy feeling growing inside me. That night, my conversation with Kevin in the kitchen became deeper and more intimate. As we talked, the warmth of the wine brought back memories from the past and intertwined them with the present. At one point, Kevin paused, looking straight into my eyes as if he wanted to say something important. A slight smile appeared on his face, but at the same time he remained serious. "Emily," Kevin said, his voice suddenly softer yet firm, "there's something I need to share with you from my conversations with Daniel. It might sound strange, but I want to be honest." My heart started racing at that moment. I could sense that whatever Kevin was about to say wasn't going to be an ordinary confession. I nodded slightly, encouraging him to continue. "Daniel didn't invite me here just because of our old friendship," he went on. "He wants the bond between us to deepen in a more meaningful way. He even suggested that the three of us could spend, how should I put it, more enjoyable times together." For a moment I struggled to grasp what Kevin meant, but the expression on his face made it clear that he wasn't joking and had given this some serious thought. I was silent for a few seconds, stunned and unsure of what to say. Kevin broke the silence. "Daniel specifically accepted this business trip so we could have time to get comfortable with each other and build a connection. I know this idea might surprise you, but I wanted to give you the space to think freely and explore this opportunity." His words left me both shocked and strangely intrigued. After so many years of marriage, I couldn't quite pinpoint how such a bold suggestion made me feel. On one hand, I was wondering how Daniel could agree to this, while on the other, Kevin's reassuring tone and gaze stirred a different emotion within me. "This is definitely unusual," I finally said, "but at the same time it feels like an exciting change and a new beginning." Kevin's face showed relief and a hint of satisfaction. "Emily, this is entirely your choice, but I thought this experience might bring you happiness and perhaps add something new to your life." We talked a bit longer, trying to understand each other better and set boundaries for this situation. As time went on, the warmth of the room and the sincerity of our conversation brought us closer. Kevin's approach and respect for me made him feel like so much more than just a guest. Under the weight of these intense emotions, as the night progressed, the bond between us deepened. The trust we felt and the excitement we shared brought us to the edge of something new. Instead of focusing on the details, I want to share the emotional and spiritual intensity of that moment. It was both a bold step and an experience unlike anything I had ever felt before. The intense conversation and emotional connection between Kevin and me kept growing stronger. The closeness we shared in those moments deeply affected both of us. However, at one point, Kevin paused and picked up his phone. Emily, he said in a calm yet determined voice, this is something we need to share with Daniel. I feel like we should tell him how we're feeling in this moment and let him know we're moving forward. As he suggested, Kevin made a video call to Daniel. When Daniel's face appeared on the screen, I felt an indescribable mix of excitement and nervousness. Kevin began speaking confidently. Daniel, he said with a slight smile, Emily and I have talked, and we both realized we're open to your suggestion right now. We're getting comfortable with each other thanks to your encouragement. We owe you our gratitude for sharing this idea with us. Daniel's face lit up with surprise at first, then relaxed into a more content expression. That's wonderful news, he said warmly. It makes me so happy to know that you're both feeling comfortable. Kevin continued explaining the situation at home to Daniel. In fact, he said with a small laugh, we're using your bed at the moment. We thought it would be a good idea to get more used to this experience before you return. Daniel paused briefly at these words, but his expression showed no signs of anger or discomfort. On the contrary, he seemed pleased with the situation. I'm so excited now, he said. I think I might cut my trip short and come home sooner. I can't wait to join you. Throughout this conversation, the bond between Kevin and me grew even stronger, and the intensity of our feelings kept building. Daniel's support and understanding made this moment feel even more special. This experience was both unexpected and exhilarating for me. It marked a turning point that allowed me to understand myself and our relationships in ways I had never explored before. This moment would remain one of the most unforgettable in my life. Daniel said he wanted to come back early from his business trip, which made the moment even more intense. Kevin's calm and reassuring demeanor made me feel